for those who are watching the replay in our small business community, I mean, our topic is being on camera. So John and Mark and I thought, what better way to actually go in the deep end, right, than to do a live interview online. Mm. So Alan, you can sit and watch this and see. Okay. Let's see how our friend Mark goes on, because we're going to put him in the barrel, right? Okay. We're going to put you in the barrel. And we'd like that, with your permission, can we ask you some questions?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, before we do that, John, what about, can you start this part off and maybe give a, for the sake of the people watching the recording, give a bit of a introduction to Mark?
I will do, and just so everybody's aware of it, I'm going to cheat and use the supercomputer, my phone, and I'm going to read off Mark's file. So Mark Newsome, you know, he's our guest. He goes by the moniker Mr. Marketing. Mark is a small business cash flow marketing strategist who specializes in helping small business owners maximize their cash flow by creating big profits utilizing little known, rarely used, non-traditional lead generation and low-cost referral generating strategies. He routinely assists his clients to convert dramatically underutilized assets and/or resources into multiple streams of income for literally pennies on the dollar. So Mark, you know, Peter, have you got a question for Mark?
Yeah. Mr. Newsome, many times I've heard this and I've always been curious, okay? What is this so-called magic question that I often hear you talk about small business owners and service providers should be asking? Tell me about that. What is it? And why should they ask it?
A fabulous question, Peter, and I am so glad you asked it. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to, going forward, your top vendors, start out with your top vendors. Ask them this simple question, and I'm going to pose it to both Peter and John right now. I'm going to find out if this Mr. Marketing guy has the goods. Peter and John, going forward, is it okay if I periodically refer you new business and customers?
Absolutely. I'd love that. Thank you very much for asking.
How about you, John?
Where do I send the check?
There you go. Now, by the same token, gentlemen, as long as it doesn't take away from anything you're currently doing or will have going on in the future, are you okay with periodically returning the favor?
Not at all. That's a great way to do it. Law of reciprocity.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard their words. Go ahead, Peter.
So, give me the wording again.
I said, as long as it doesn't take away from anything you have currently going on or will have going on in the future, are you okay with periodically returning the favor?
Oh, yeah, that's clever. Yeah. And people will naturally say, no problem at all. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard their words, but now let me really put some meat on the bone so you really get this. You heard them say they're willing to return the favor, but here's what you didn't hear. They're telling you, Mark, not only do you get direct access or indirect access, pardon me, to my current connections, but the ones I'm going to have next week, next year, a year from now that are 10 times better, you get access to those too. You see how powerful the magic question can be? Don't ask this to complete strangers. You don't go across the street to the bakery you've never done any business with. You start in-house with your current best vendors and build from there.
Good. That's the magic question. Well done.
That's the magic question.
Have you got a question for Mark? John, over to you.
Yeah. Mark, we hear all the time about people that are being victimized by social media. What does that mean?
Well, Peter and John, all three of us actually know, and I'll share a quick story about, I don't want to date myself too much here, Peter, but I used to be on social media 1.0. And basically, here's what it means, ladies and gentlemen. You hear all this, and Peter, forgive this word, hype, where people say, oh, you don't need a website. You don't need your own email list. Just get on social media and start building. That's great. But please understand this. You could wake up tomorrow and your 500,000 TikTok followers, your 500,000 LinkedIn followers, your 2 million Instagram followers, your account could be wiped out just like that. Peter, you, John, and myself know there are gurus online right now who in these webinars will admit they've had their account shut down, some more than once. So here's the point. You should absolutely be leveraging social media, but don't 100% rely on it. Unless your last name is Zuckerberg or Hoffman, we don't own those platforms. We are glorified tenants. Peter and John, I'd like to say it like this, and Alan, maybe you can relate to this. I just like to say building 100% on social media is like sleeping on your ex-in-law's couch. You never know when they're going to come home and say, I love you, but you got to go. Where's that going to leave you if they do? So keep building your own own opt-in email list, because that's the one asset we own and control. All that other stuff is rented, and they could wipe you out in any minute, and we don't want that to happen to you.
Yeah. One thing, Mark, when people go on there and they hear these pay-per-clicks, pay-for-views, to me, I'm not the biggest online and then whatever, that's growing. But I know people could say that could cost you a fortune. What do they mean by that?
Well, in more ways than one. Basically, now pay-per-click is a great way to scale. It really is. But there's a learning curve. Peter will tell you that. Unless you know how to write good copy in a short, condensed space, you have to test quite a bit. Peter's experience, your experience, John, I'm experienced, but I guarantee you, a newbie jumping online trying to use pay-per-click, that's a huge learning curve, because they don't know how to write from the what's in it for me type of perspective just yet. So you have to test quite a bit. And while you're testing, that money's coming out of your budget. Now, you shouldn't be starting out with $1,000 budget or $5,000 budget. But my point is, while you're learning the ropes, it's going to cost you money. This is on or offline.
Good point. Good point. Yeah. Good to see you, Bill, by the way. Thank you for joining us.
Peter, if I could share one other thing off of that. One more quick point, gentlemen, because this is really important. Every one of us is in a different part of the world right now, correct? Ladies and gentlemen, please understand this. Right now, in everybody's local area, some entrepreneur spent money on a TV ad or a radio ad. You and I haven't seen it. That money's still coming out of their budget. So be very careful about paid advertising, because there are a lot of nuances to it, including pay-per-click. It's a learning curve. I'm not against it. It's a powerful form of advertising, but it's got a steep learning curve.
I'll just add something there. I used to tell people, I still do, when newspaper ads were really big. To me, a newspaper was good for lying in a bird cage and swatting flies, because once the paper was read that day, it's gone. And 95, 98% of the people reading that paper were never going to be your ideal prospects. So talk about looking for a needle in a haystack for a lot of newspaper ads. And, you mentioned it, radio and TV are the same thing. We got a gazillion channels now. Who watches local TV?
Good point.
Mark, I've got another question for you. Can I ask?
Please.
I can't recall when I saw this, but it definitely came from you. So you said something, and I can't remember the actual exact words, but this is the flavor I got. And that is, don't treat your business or your service like a glorified one-night stand. That got my curiosity. What do you mean by that?
Yes, sir. Excellent point. Bill, welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, you all know, and if you haven't, you're going to find out really quick. Peter, John, Alan, Bill, we've all heard these figures. They tell us on average, you're going to spend on or offline about 500% more to generate a first time customer. If you're a newbie, it's going to cost more. Peter, you hear this term, John, we hear this term all the time. They say touches, meaning each exposure that you pay for is going to take between 7 and 21 touches before the average consumer says, oh, Peter Beckingham, what's this guy advertising or what's his service? Well, here's the point of that. You and I spend all this effort, money, and time and 500% retail to generate this first time customer. And then what do, Peter? We drop them like it's hot and go chase the new retail customer. Oh my goodness. This is why most small businesses are upside down, meaning more money's going out than's coming in. You're frustrated. And the profit margin on that first customer is so minuscule because it costs you so much to generate them. Well, you're saying, okay, hotshot, what should you do? You do what everybody on this webinar knows to do. You have something called an upsell, an add-on sale, an additional sale, product or service on every sale. Case in point, if all 5 of us went through an iconic fast food restaurant chain right now and purchased something, they're going to come back and say, would you like fries and a Coke with that? Any idea why they do that? That's called an upsell, ladies and gentlemen. The reason they do it is because they usually lose money on that first sale. They need that upsell to create profit. And in fact, let me just share this, Peter. You know, everybody on here knows this. The companies that use upsells, and we're just going to use that unnamed iconic fast food restaurant, there's a reason why those executives, their kids attend the most prestigious colleges in the world. They drive the fanciest automobiles in the world, and they live in the most fabulous houses on the planet. That 6-word phrase, would you like fries with that, puts tens of extra billions of dollars in their coffers every year, and they don't have to go on radio, TV, newspaper ad, do pay-per-click to do it. They simply offer their product or service, additional product or service to the customer who's buying. And Peter, how many times have you said it? When someone buys, they're at the hottest point they're ever going to be, people. You cannot let them cool off. If you're doing mail order, make sure you got a market tested offer in there. You say, but Mark, I don't have one. Peter has one. John has one. Bill has one. Alan has one. I have one. Do a joint venture. Or better yet, join our group. Because our community partner, that's why we're here.
You know, Mark, that is really interesting. I was watching a 60 Minutes program the other day from Australia, and it was about that restaurant, right? With the eyes, okay?
That unknown restaurant.
That unknown restaurant, right? And the interesting thing they said was this, that when they offer that 6-word phrase, would you like French fries with that? Those side dishes, right? Those side dishes amount to 34% net profit.
See there? See there?
Right? Net profit.
Net.
If they didn't ask those 6 words, they would be a lot less profitable than they are now.
Exactly. Absolutely. In fact, I'm glad you said that, Peter, because let's piggyback on that to show them how you compound and grow exponentially. When they say, would you like fries with that, or would you like a fries and Coke with that? Ladies and gentlemen, this unknown, iconic fast food empire didn't sit on their laurels. Guess what else they came up with? They got their smartest people in the room and said, okay, men and women, come up with a way to take our upsell to the next level. And here's what they came up with. A 2-word question. When they say, would you like fries with that? Or whatever they ask us, and we say yes, they come back and say, supersize you? Bam.
Mm.
They have just went exponential for pennies on the dollar. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to understand something. I'm saying this may sound crass and hypey, but I'm being serious. You see these one, two, three, four other gentlemen on this recording? They can help you and I get exponential growth for literally pennies on the dollar. And that's what you and I want. I know that's what I want. Peter's my coach and mentor. I've known, respected him for years. Peter has shared more money making dynamite with me than I can even remember. This guy knows the stuff. I've had several conversations with John. They know what they're doing. Alan, I've yet to pick your brain or Bill, but I'm telling you, these two guys.
Oh,
By the way, thank you, Mark. By the way, when it comes to that restaurant, the same 60 Minutes show interviewed the #1 franchise holder in Australia, okay? And they said to him, what is the greatest asset that, okay, let's say McDonald's has? What is the greatest asset you've got? And he said, it's not the food. And it's not even the staff, even though the staff are brilliant. He said, the greatest asset we got is free car parking.
Hello.
Okay? Because
Fabulous.
people can go there and they can get a park for their car, right? They can get a park for their car, and McDonald's know that, and that's what they bank on. They bank on that. And that's why
Wow.
the franchise holders are spaced at legitimate distances apart. And they're normally associated in Thailand and in Australia with a particular shop, like a 7-Eleven or something. They work hand in glove with them. All right. So, I mean, it's an extremely valuable franchise. It is a very expensive franchise, but those 6 words you mentioned, Mark, plus the free car parking, make it a pretty profitable one as well.
No
Anyway.
doubt. Wow.
One other thing, sorry guys, one other thing that franchise did was they copied a bank. That's how they came up with the drive-through. It was
That's what they
copied off
came
the
up with.
bank. So
Yeah.
they were the first ones to put the drive-through in for fast foods. You know, people don't want to go in and stand in line. What they did, they saw something that was happening outside of their industry. And
Right.
ladies and gentlemen watching this, what happens is a lot of your ideas and everything that help you grow don't come from within your business. They come from outside it. So don't be shy about looking outside of your industry, your business, see what's working there and see how you can implement it into your own business. You know, now you look at all these other fast food places, they all copy the big M. Every one of
That's right.
one
And
of
they
the
should.
you know, one of the biggest
But it's
challenges that the competition has, they all talk about how great, grand, and wonderful their food is. Big M doesn't. They talk about the experience. That's what makes them #1. It's about the person. It's not about their burgers, because we all know anybody can make a better burger than any of them. But they talk about the experience. That
right.
is the big thing. They make it about their prospect, about their client. It's not they got a flame broiled or the DQ or whatever else other one got A&W. It's about the experience.
Mhm.
Well, all that came from a one-night stand, Mark.
That's fabulous.
Well
That is
answered.
fabulous.
You got
the
any
funny
more
thing
questions?
is, the funny thing is, they used to call it fast food. There's nothing fast about it anymore. You wait forever, but yet they still sell 1 billion hamburgers a year.
That's
That's
right.
true, John. True, Bill.
Yes, they do.
Do you have any more questions for Mark? Because we got him on the spot here. Let's keep him going for a couple more minutes.
You know, Mark, what's one thing that you'd like the audience to know about you that isn't in, on your bio or something like that.
Oh my goodness, I'm so glad you asked that. Ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, I am a financial geek. I love listening to financial information. I've got a couple of gurus that I follow, and one of them, unfortunately, is passed on, the late, great Charles J. Gibbons. I love that guy. He had a book, a bestseller called Wealth Without Risk. And in fact, Peter, or John, just what you were talking about, how McDonald's patterned their drive-through concept off of banking. Charles Gibbons had a special report called The 10 Most Common Investment Mistakes the Average Investor Makes and How to Correct Them. So, being the marketing emulator that I am, I came up and inspired with the 10 most common marketing mistakes small business owners make and how to correct them.
Is that in a PDF that people can download, Mark, or how's that?
It sure is. It absolutely is. I'm in the process right now. I want to redo the cover, jazz it up a little bit, but it absolutely is a PDF. And my paid clients, when they do consultations with me, I give them a report and they have to do some homework on it. But the point is that is available. And I was going to talk to Peter if we should make it available to the group, whatever we're going to do. But yes, the point that I'm trying to get is what we're all making here, ladies and gentlemen. You got to look outside your industry, your knowledge, your experience, and you got to look to the men and women who got it going on and figure out how you. Peter said 8 plus 2. John said 6 plus 4. Bill said 40 divided by 4. Alan said 8 plus 2. Now here I come saying 15 minus 5. That's all 10 mathematically, ladies and gentlemen. But you're not going to get there if you just stay inside your little bubble where everybody's talking the same, thinking the same, doing everything. You got to get outside that and look to some men and women. It's not innovation. It's, in my opinion, Peter, it's just being open and seeing the different ways to look at things. That's how you grow, in my opinion.
Mark, can I ask you one more question?
Please, if you would.
Can you just give me a simple example, as simple as you can, of how a small business owner can turn a one-time customer into a perpetual real customer gold mine?
Oh man, I'm so glad you asked that question. Oh my goodness, ladies, you don't follow this. This is proper. Peter, I'm going to give a real life example. I saw this unfold. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the big unnamed big box retailers was about to have a grand opening. So you know the routine. About 2 o'clock in the morning, the youngsters started piling into the parking lot. Peter, they're out there playing frisbee and doing all this stuff. If I were the manager of that store, I would have called ahead and gotten permission from corporate, or if I owned the place myself, 2 things I would have done. First of all, I would have gone out, introduced myself. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mark Newsome. I am the manager here of this store. We're so grateful you're out here. We got a special gift for you. I would have called Peter's non-franchise pizza shop ahead and said, I need 50 pizzas. Peter's truck would have showed up, passing out pizza. These people are taking pictures. They're all over social media. And then I would have said, ladies and gentlemen, the hot beverages is on us. I would have called Alan's coffee shop. Alan would have come up with his portable van. He would have started passing out gourmet coffee in these, what Alan calls his big go, this big giant cup that he normally sells for $11.99. But get this, we're going to buy the gourmet coffee from Alan at cost. We're going to buy the cups, and we're going to tell Alan when he's filling the cups to each consumer, say, hey, I'm Alan's coffee shop 2 blocks away. From now on, when you bring that cup back, you don't pay $11.99 or X, you pay $3.99. Now, if the coffee tastes good and the service is over the top, what do you think they're going to start coming for their gourmet coffee on top of the fact they're saving a bunch of money? Now, he's a brilliant marketer. He knows he's going to make his money up on the back end. How, Mark? When he sells you the birthday cakes, the bar mitzvah cakes, the graduation cakes. I just opened my new business cake. I just had my first or second grandchild cake, my first child cake. On and on and on and on. And Alan's also going to say, you see the little bowl right there? Do you own a business? Put your business card in there. Every month we give a free drawing two winners. You get a 20-pound bag of gourmet coffee, and I give your employees the same courtesy I'm giving you. They come in, bring the card in, they get that cup. They don't have to pay retail the first time. They just pay the $3.99 from now on. Alan's business explodes. Those people are all over social media talking about me. And this is how you take a one-time sale, ladies and gentlemen, and create a perpetual gold.
That's really great advice, Mark. And, you know, for everybody listening to the replay, you can do that with any business. It doesn't have to be a grand opening. You know, we got Valentine's Day coming up. We got President's Day in the US. There's Canada has some holiday, Family Day or some damn thing. And I'm sure there's different holidays all over the world that you can have it. You can have it for the first Thursday of this week. It doesn't matter what you call it, but you can have a reason to give people that experience. So thanks for sharing that, Mark.
You're welcome. And in fact, let's not forget that one smart day every year called Father's Day.
Yep. And the other big one, Mother's Day, that
Oh,
is
absolutely.
a great day.
That's the biggest day.
honor the ladies. You got a beautiful
Secretary's Day.
Yeah.
Come on, people.
You got your at-home wife and you got your business wife, because
right.
that secretary of yours runs your business life. And
you better believe it.
Treat them really nice, because if you don't, they can really screw up your business. So,
absolutely.
Treat them like the royalty they are.
That they are. Absolutely. Absolutely. Great point. Great point.
No, I think you've done a pretty good job, Mark. We picked you left, right, and center. I just want to say thank you on behalf of the small business breakthrough community. Thank you for sharing what you did. What is the best way to contact you? If people who are watching this replay or they see it on YouTube, how can they contact you? What's the best way to do that? Could you actually put that in the chat as well and tell me now how to do that?
I sure can, Peter. Ladies and gentlemen, you can reach me at my blog. It's canmarketonlinenow.com. You can also reach me at linkedin.com/ASK/Mark, M-A-R-K, Newsome, N-E-W-S-O-M-E. Now, I better definitely put that in the chat, Peter, because I don't expect anybody to remember that. So let me take a moment and write both of those in.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you very much.
Okay. I appreciate you. Hope you didn't mind being put in the hot seat. You did very well.
My pleasure.